Ever wondered how much Icelandic magic you can fit into a single day? Think steaming lagoons, rainbow streets, flaky pastries, and a dinner you'll be dreaming about long after you leave. Welcome to Reykjavik, where even one day feels like an adventure. Best time to visit. Deciding when to visit Reykjavik is all about choosing the specific Icelandic magic you want to experience. Your priority will determine your choice between the bright summer months and the cozy dark winter season. If you seek maximum exploration and activity, visiting during the summer when the sun barely sets thanks to the incredible midnight sun, days average a comfortable high of about 13 degrees Celsius or about 55 degrees Fahrenheit, which is perfect for enjoying street life and long harbor walks. The almost endless daylight allows you to maximize your time, taking late evening whale watching tours or enjoying a sunset at 11 p.m. without feeling rushed. Alternatively, a winter visit offers the best chance to see the spectacular northern lights. Just be aware that you'll only have a few daylight hours, and the opening hours for thermal spas like the Sky Lagoon and Blue Lagoon are limited in winter. Winter highs hover around 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit, so layered, insulated clothing is non-negotiable, and you should always check weather reports as severe winds can impact travel. Airport tips. Your Icelandic adventure starts the moment you arrive at Keflavik International Airport, or KEF. It's important to note that the airport is located about 31 miles or 50 kilometers from downtown Reykjavik, and the drive takes roughly 45 minutes. The Flybus and airport direct shuttles are the most popular transfer options. They're efficient and cost around $27 to $35 one way. These services are timed to meet all arriving international flights and can drop you directly at your accommodation or at the main bus terminal. If you prefer private transport, taxis are available outside arrivals, but the fare is steep. Expect to pay around $150 to reach the center. Since most flights land early in the morning between 6 and 8 a.m., pre-booking your shuttle is a smart time saver. Also, if you plan to visit lagoons or explore the island, I highly recommend renting a car right at the airport, which simplifies connecting to day trips like the Golden Circle or South Coast. Expect to pay between $50 to $70 per day for a small economy car, though prices can spike in the summer high season. If you plan to drive on Iceland's mountain F-roads, a 4x4 vehicle is mandatory, and those will cost significantly more. Where to stay? For a quick one-night itinerary, staying downtown in the Mjötborg area is the smartest strategic move. Everything, including landmarks like Hallgrímskirkja, Rainbow Street, and the Old Harbor, is within walking distance, and the neighborhood is full of energy. If you're on a tighter budget, look around Laugavgur Street, where guest houses cost about $100 to $150 per night. Be mindful that while central, these can sometimes be louder due to the bars and nightlife. For mid-range choices, a standout option is the Aya Guldsmeden Hotel, a lovely eco-boutique spot located a 10-minute walk from the center that offers free parking if you have a rental car. The Kvasin Downtown Hotel is another great choice, featuring spacious suites tucked right into the historic center. Prices in this range run from about $150 to $250 per night. For a luxury experience, the Apótek Hotel Reykjavik delivers a polished stay in a centrally located, restored historic building with prices starting around $300 per night. How to get around? Once you're settled in downtown Reykjavik, getting around is wonderfully easy and stress-free. The city center is small, flat, and perfectly suited for walking. You can comfortably reach all the itinerary stops, the church, the harbor, and all the colorful streets without needing a ride. If you do venture further afield, the Strætó city buses are reliable. A single trip ticket costs about $5, and a 24-hour pass is roughly $18. You can easily purchase tickets digitally through the Klapp app. Note that Reykjavik does not have rideshare services like Uber or Lyft, so buses or taxis are the only non-walkable options. Ultimately, a rental car is only worth it if you're heading to lagoons or taking day trips outside the city, but for navigating the downtown core, exploring on foot is the best way to soak in the atmosphere. Reykjavik in a day, from Sky Lagoon's Serenity to Harbor Lights. Morning, soak at Sky Lagoon. Start your day with pure Icelandic relaxation at the Sky Lagoon, which is just 15 minutes from downtown. This oceanfront geothermal spa feels both modern and ancient. It features sleek design, wild sea views, and the famous 7-step ritual that takes you from hot steam to icy mist and back again. It's not just about soaking, it's about completely resetting your senses. The lagoon's water is naturally heated by the earth and is rich in minerals like silica and sulfur, which lend it a soft, milky texture that's wonderful on your skin. Plan to spend about 2 hours here to enjoy the experience fully. Towels, toiletries, and hair dryers are all included in your visit, so you only need to bring your swimsuit. The entrance ticket with the ritual starts around $70, and it's truly worth every moment for those incredible ocean views alone. Book the very first time slot of the day to enjoy the lagoon in peaceful silence before the crowds arrive. Given the huge popularity, pre-booking at least 72 hours in advance is essential for securing your preferred time slot, especially for the early morning slots. If you're visiting between October and May, note that the Sky Lagoon opens later in the morning. In that case, the Blue Lagoon is a fantastic earlier alternative, as it's open from 8 a.m. year-round. It's larger and more touristy, but it's still a beautiful way to start your day. Insider tip. Feeling adventurous? Visit the Þríhnjúkagigar volcano instead. It's about a 30 to 40 minute drive from Reykjavik, where you'll descend straight into a dormant magma chamber, an experience you won't find anywhere else in the world. The tour takes around 4 hours, with prices starting at around $350 per person. Be sure to book an early morning slot well in advance, as spaces are limited. Breakfast at Café Loki. After your relaxing soak at the Sky Lagoon, drive back into Reykjavik's center and stop at Café Loki, which sits right across the street from Hallgrímskirkja church. This friendly, old-fashioned cafe serves some of the city's most traditional Icelandic breakfasts, and if you can manage to grab a table upstairs, you'll get a postcard-perfect view of the church tower while you eat. You should order one of their homemade rye bread or flatbread plates. They are delicious and come topped with local favorites like mashed fish, smoked trout, or smoked lamb. The cafe also offers gluten-free options, and if you prefer something sweet, try the Icelandic pancakes or the carrot cake with skyr and rhubarb syrup. Most plates with coffee come in around $15 to $25 per person, depending on what you choose. Before you head out, don't skip Café Loki's famous rye bread ice cream. It's creamy, slightly malty, and the perfect little taste of Iceland to start your day. Late morning, Hallgrímskirkja church and the Leif Eriksson statue. Once you've finished breakfast, step outside Café Loki and look up. Hallgrímskirkja church rises dramatically above Reykjavik's skyline. Designed by Iceland's state architect Guðjón Samúelsson, it took nearly 40 years to complete, and its sweeping basalt-like columns were inspired by the country's lava formations, glaciers, and mountains. Specifically, the architect drew inspiration from the dramatic basalt columns surrounding the Svartisfoss Black Falls waterfall. At 244 feet, it remains one of Iceland's tallest and most recognizable buildings. At the base of the steps stands the Leif Eriksson statue, a 1930 gift from the United States that honors the Icelandic explorer who reached North America centuries before Columbus. Inside, the church is simple and filled with natural light, with clean lines that make its main concert organ even more striking. Built by Johannes Kleis of Bonn, Germany, this colossal instrument is the largest musical instrument in Iceland, standing 15 meters or 49 feet tall and weighing 25 tons. It features 72 steps and 5,275 pipes, and its world-renowned acoustics make the church a popular venue for concerts. Entry to the church itself is free. If you wish to visit the tower, though, you can take the elevator up for about $12. The tower gives you one of the best vantage points of the entire city, offering panoramic views across Reykjavik's colorful rooftops, Faxaflói Bay, and Mount Esja. Insider tip. If you're visiting during the summer months, May through September, go to the tower just before closing time at around 8:30 p.m. The soft, extended light from the midnight sun makes it a perfect time for a stunning cityscape photo. Stroll along Rainbow Street. After visiting Hallgrímskirkja, take a slow walk down Skólavörðustígur, better known as Rainbow Street. What began as a temporary pride installation has now become a permanent splash of color running through the heart of Reykjavik. It's cheerful, lively, and one of the best spots in the city to snap a photo with Hallgrímskirkja glowing in the background. The street itself perfectly embodies Reykjavik's character with its brightly painted corrugated iron houses and charming low-rise Nordic architecture. This pedestrian street is lined with colorful houses, cafes, and small boutiques, making it the perfect place to browse and grab a quick snack. Step inside Ramagaroin to find beautifully crafted Icelandic goods like wool blankets, volcanic-themed ceramics, and lopapeysa sweaters, all designed by local artisans. This shop is excellent for picking up stylish home goods and unique gifts that truly reflect Icelandic design sensibility. Then continue to the Hand Knitting Association of Iceland, famous for their hand-knitted lopapeysa sweaters and accessories made from Icelandic sheep wool. I recommend grabbing an authentic sweater here. It's an investment, but the dense Icelandic wool is perfectly waterproof, breathable, and warm enough to last a lifetime, making it an essential souvenir and a piece of wearable heritage. Insider tip: always check the labels or ask before buying. The real Icelandic wool pieces are locally hand-knitted, sustainable, and made to last for decades, unlike the mass-produced versions sold elsewhere. Afternoon. Lunch at Brauð & Co. or Pósthús Food Hall and Bar. By now, you're probably ready for a little break, and Reykjavik has two perfect options depending on what you're craving. If you're in the mood for something light and sweet, stop by Brauð & Co., the city's most colorful bakery. The scent of fresh bread hits you the second you walk in, and their legendary kanilsnuda Icelandic cinnamon rolls are worth every calorie. Fresh from the oven, they're soft, buttery, and perfectly gooey. Look for the cardamom spiced variety for an authentic Nordic twist on the classic roll. Pair one with a croissant or a warm coffee, and expect to spend around $10 to $12 for a quick treat. If you'd rather sit down for a proper meal, head over to Pósthús Food Hall and Bar just a few minutes away. Set inside a beautifully restored post office, this bright modern space brings together global flavors under one roof. The food hall's location is central and makes it an ideal spot for people watching while you refuel. Try the fish and chips, butter chicken, or rainbow poke bowl. Each stall has its own twist. A satisfying lunch here usually costs between $15 and $30 per person, depending on what you order. Walk around Reykjavik's Old Harbor. Now it's time to stretch your legs and enjoy the sea air. From downtown, take a leisurely walk over to Reykjavik's Old Harbor, or Gamla Hofnin, where colorful fishing boats rock gently in the water, seabirds glide overhead, and the mountains of Mount Esja rise beautifully across the bay. The setting feels both peaceful and alive. It's a delightful maritime experience. This neighborhood is full of life. You'll find cozy cafes, fantastic seafood restaurants serving the fresh catch of the day, small art galleries, and bursts of vibrant street art tucked away between the warehouses. Follow the waterfront path toward the Harpa Concert Hall, Reykjavik's modern architectural gem. Its glass facade shimmers like a honeycomb, inspired by Iceland's basalt columns. This design was created by the Danish firm Henning Larsen Architects in collaboration with renowned Danish Icelandic artist Olafur Eliasson, making it a true work of functional art. Step inside, it's free to enter, and watch sunlight ripple through the geometric panels as the harbor reflects below. Keep walking until you reach the Sölvnar Sun Voyager, a sleek steel sculpture shaped like a Viking ship. It represents hope, freedom, and the spirit of adventure, and it's one of Reykjavik's most photographed spots, especially when the light catches the metal at sunset. While often mistaken for a Viking ship, the artist John Gunnar Arneson actually intended it to be a dreamboat, an ode to the sun representing a promise of new, undiscovered territory. Late afternoon, whale watching, or Whales of Iceland Museum. If you're visiting Reykjavik between May and October, you're in luck. It's prime whale watching season in Iceland. Boats depart straight from the Old Harbor, taking you into Flaxafloy Bay, where humpback whales, minke whales, and pods of dolphins are often spotted gliding through the waves. Most tours last about 2.5 to 3 hours, with warm overalls and safety gear provided on board. I recommend sitting high up on the deck for the best views, but brace yourself for the sharp Arctic air. You'll breathe in the salt-laced wind, smell the sea in the air, and then suddenly, that unforgettable moment when a whale's tail breaches the surface beside you. Expect to pay $85 to $100 per person, depending on the boat type and the operator. If you're visiting outside the whale-watching months, head instead to the Whales of Iceland Museum, just a short walk from the harbor. Inside, more than 20 life-sized whale models hang dramatically from the ceiling, surrounded by gentle blue lighting and the sounds of real whale songs. The exhibit features all 23 species found in Icelandic waters, including the massive blue whale model that's nearly 25 meters long. Interactive displays explain how each species lives and migrates through Icelandic waters. Tickets cost about $35 for adults and $20 for children, and you'll need about an hour to explore. Insider tip: stop by the small whale cafe on your way out for a warm drink. The same ambient whale sounds play softly throughout the space, keeping the experience beautifully immersive right to the end. Evening: dinner and cocktails at Apótek restaurant. For dinner, head to Apótek restaurant, part of the Apótek Hotel on Austurstræti 16 in central Reykjavik. Housed in the city's former pharmacy, the building still features original marble counters and the apothecary-style shelves, giving the restaurant a distinctive but understated character. The building's original structure from 1917, designed in the elegant Art Nouveau style, provides a warm, elegant atmosphere, often accompanied by soft contemporary Icelandic music. The menu focuses on Icelandic ingredients with a modern twist. Start with the lamb tartare or Arctic chard served on a Himalayan salt block. Then move on to a pan-fried cod or slow-roasted lamb shank. The multi-course tasting menu is highly recommended as it's designed to guide you through a selection of the very best seasonal Icelandic produce and fresh seafood. For a full dining experience, the 7-course tasting menu costs around $110 to $120 per person. Their cocktails are a highlight, each one inspired by the restaurant's pharmacy theme. Try the Diligin, made with Icelandic gin, dill, and honey, or the Placebo, a smooth, non-alcoholic option. Most cocktails range from $15 to $25, and there's also a good selection of local craft beers and wines. Insider tip: reserve a table for around 8 p.m. It's the perfect time to unwind after a full day of exploring, and the restaurant atmosphere is liveliest later in the evening. Late evening: Aurora Borealis at Grótta Lighthouse. The day might be winding down, but Reykjavik still has one more moment worth chasing. With the summer sky glowing well into the night, it's the perfect time to head out for a short drive before calling it a day. If you're visiting between May and August, drive about 10 minutes from downtown to Grótta Lighthouse at the edge of the Seltjarnarnes Peninsula. This protected nature area is a haven for seabirds and feels a world away from the city center. It's a quiet coastal viewpoint, ideal for a sunset walk and sweeping views of the bay. The path leading to the lighthouse is only open at low tide, so check tide times before you go. If you're visiting in winter, the same spot becomes one of Reykjavik's best places to look for the northern lights. On a clear night, you might see ribbons of green and violet dancing above the water, a fitting end to a day in Iceland's capital. Because this location is free from city light pollution, your camera has the best chance of capturing the vibrant streaks of the Aurora Borealis. Insider tip: always consult the local tide timetable before approaching the lighthouse. The path is submerged for hours at high tide, and the ocean can swiftly cut off access, potentially trapping you on the small island until the water recedes again. And that's how to spend one incredible day in Reykjavik, a city where every corner feels a little bit magical. Between the hot pools, cozy cafes, and sea air, Reykjavik makes it easy to fall in love fast. If you enjoyed this guide, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And when you're ready for another Nordic escape, take a look at our guide to Oslo.